The old man was stranded at sea for 3 days and 3 nights, and when he was most desperate, a wooden box floated in from the sea. He was surprised to open it, but was disappointed to find nothing but miscellaneous items inside. Unwilling to starve to death, the old man pulls out a rusty can and uncorks it just as he's about to enjoy his last meal. When Charlie Jr. warns him that it's badly out of date, he knew it, but he was more interested in filling his stomach than in starving to death. But by dusk, Charlie Jr. was in trouble with Barton, but Barton couldn't bear to tell them the harsh truth, so he began to tell them that when the setting sun touched the water, it made a beautiful sound. The innocent children had never heard such a lie, and the two of them were immediately seized by the sunset, but no matter how hard they listened, they heard nothing at all. Then Barton said that only children with good hearts could hear it. In order to get Barton's praise, the two little ones immediately said excitedly that they heard the sound of nuisance, and finally even stared at the setting sun curiously, waiting for him to slowly drop the curtain. The next day, Annie just woke up and suddenly cried out in joy. Barton immediately catapulted up. He stared into the distance and found that not far away is actually a small island. Barton hastened to drive the boat towards the side of the rush. In a few moments, they reached the island and were eager to find a clean water source. After passing through a bush, they were surprised to see a small stream, but that was not all. Barton found a bunch of bananas, and now they didn't have to worry about food and drink anymore. At that moment, Annie made an unexpected discovery and told Barton to come over and take a look. Barton didn't know what was in the barrel, so he took a little of the liquid with his finger and tasted it, saying it was sugar-cane wine. But the barrel looked harmless, but it was as deadly as a demon. Barton then took them to settle on the island, although he didn't have to worry about survival now. Barton woke up because he couldn't go back to civilization. In contrast, the two children were oblivious to the fact that every day they were either teasing bamboo worms or playing with crabs, and even running around the island barefoot, and their mischievous behavior was a real pain in the ass for Barton. That night, Barton had a few too many drinks because he missed home, but he was embarrassed in front of his children, but he didn't feel it and even danced with them. After the madness, Barton suddenly fell asleep, and the two children wanted to go home to sleep, but in the middle of the night, Barton suddenly wanted to go home, so he hugged his favorite wine and imagined that he could swim back home. The next day, the two kids realized that Barton had disappeared, and Charlie looked through his binoculars and soon found him on the island across the river. Charlie thought Barton was just drunk and sleeping, so the two of them rowed out together to look for him. But when they found him, they realized he had been dead for a long time. Annie was so shocked that she fainted. Charlie rushed her into the boat and packed up his belongings and tried to flee the island. But before they could paddle any farther, they were bound by the waves, and in a few moments, they were washed back to shore. It seemed impossible for them to escape, but they had no choice but to stay, even if they did.